Friends, Romans, Metalheads, lend me your ears. You're listening to Metal Empire interviews. That's really weird saying that because I do Metal Empire on Metal Nation. This is a spin-off. What this is, right, is a spin-off. I'll just get into it. By the way, I am your mildly tolerable, semi-competent host, RJ Bailey. And you can see how competent I am by the fact that the intro to the first ever Metal Empire interviews podcast is like this. Essentially, I do a radio show on Metal Nation Radio. It's called Metal Empire. I once did an interview with Phil Pendergast from Chemist, the doomed heavy metal band. They like to call themselves doomed heavy metal. I'm so off-piste, it's ridiculous. Anyway, it went on for 45 minutes. Don't know if you know how long the usual radio interview is. It's a 15-minute block. It's quarter of an hour, not 3/4 of an hour, not thrice the length they should be. Anyway, that went down very well. Everyone seemed to like how in-depth it was, and so the Fatrick Bumbatrick format of my Metal Empire interviews took root. And for a while, I thought, I make pretty good podcast, that, wouldn't it? I mean, it's podcast length, 3/4 of an hour. Not a long podcast, I'll grant you. Some of the Warhammer 40,000 specifically, some of the Warhammer podcasts I listen to are like 3 hours long. I'm not joking. I listen to 3-hour Warhammer podcasts on the reg. So not a long podcast. However, podcast length. Certainly podcastable. So I've been sat on this concept for a while and I thought, yeah, why not? Let's do it. So here we are. I'm doing a podcast. It's called Metal Empire Interviews. The reason is because they're the interviews from Metal Empire. It's a lot of waffle, in it? For something that's meant to be an intro. We're going on for 2 minutes 40 now, which is ridiculous, really, because this is meant to be, but the bulk of this is meant to be an interview, but here we go. I've got a lot of love for the band IGNEA. Helle and Evgeny are kind of like the masterminds behind it. Helle is the singer, Evgeny and the lyricist, and Evgeny writes the music. He's also the keyboard player. Absolutely amazing band. I've been in love with these guys since I heard on Spotify Satanu Akbar from the album The Sign of Faith. I went into that album. Turns out it's all just as good as Satanu Akbar. It's like, kind of like, they're from the Ukraine, but it's like Turkish influenced, symphonic, death metal, folk metal. It was like nothing else I'd ever heard. You know, I love it. It's absolutely amazing. And I don't mean that in like the novelty sense. Not that I don't love a good novelty band. I love baby metal. Don't get me wrong. However, not in the novelty sense like nothing you've ever heard. It was rich. It was full of texture. It conjured up. It sounds mysterious. It's mysterious, epic, sweeping music. These guys should have done the soundtrack to Lawrence of Arabia. If I had a time machine, that's what I would organise. I'd get IGNEA to go and do the soundtrack to Lawrence of Arabia. That's what it sounds like. Anyway, this interview is the first interview I did with them. I've done a couple now, and I just got on so well with them. They're just such good people, so bloody nice. Like, by the time I'd spoken to them the second time, I felt like I was chatting with old friends. It was amazing. But obviously, it seems ridiculous to start with the second interview. So I'll obviously be starting with the first time I interviewed them. I heard their music, I sought them out and was like, yo, IGNEA, Can I interview you, please? Also send me all your music to play on my radio show. Now, they've been kind enough to allow me to use said music on this very podcast. So, we're going to be bookending this interview with a couple of songs. I have a hard time picking my favourite songs from this album, but if I had to pick one song, it would be this one, Shaitanu Akbar. So we're going to listen to that, and then we're going to get into the interview with Helle and Evgeny from IGNEA. Hello, you're listening to Metal Empire here on Metal Nation Radio. I am your humble host, RJ Bailey, and I am talking to a band I've been a fan of since I heard their first full-length album, Sign of Faith, in 2017. It was actually the song Shaitanu Akbar that made me prick up my ears and take notice of the combination of heavy metal, symphonic metal, and oriental sounds all combined into one. And I love a bit of experimental metal and metal with an artistic edge. So I was delighted to dig into the back catalogue of these guys and discovered that I absolutely love them. So welcome to the show, Helle and Eugene.
Hi.
Hey, hello.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for being here. It's an absolutely compelling album. You've also released the single more recently, Queen Dies, which I'm a fan of as well. And very recently, you released the Sign of Faith instrumental album, which I like to have on in the background while I'm recording. This is like a secret, but I record audiobooks, and I quietly listen to this album in my headphones as I'm recording. It's very good to have on in the background, especially when I'm recording a fantasy book as well, which I'm doing at the moment. It's pretty epic.
Oh, that's cool. Actually, a lot of people told us that they use it as a background music while they're working. So it's nice to hear.
Yeah, I guess it's worth anything else. It isn't worth.
So, can you tell me, first of all, guys, you're based in Kiev in the Ukraine, aren't you? When did this band first come about? When did IGNEA come about?
I guess Eugene is the best person to.
Yeah, that's a long story because the project I've started, I think around 2007 or 8 or somewhere about that. It changed the name twice, I believe. A little less than 40 people went through the project up until the moment that the actual band is formed, and we had some decent material, and we found Hell, for example. Yeah, and after that we went to the studio. So I'm more keen to thinking of 2013 as the starting point of the band.
Yeah, that's the point where we started rehearsing and when we recorded our first album. So, yeah.
When you say first album, do you mean Sign of Faith or do you mean the EP Sputnik? Or
in the EP.
Yeah.
We mean the EP. Yeah.
Sure. I'm very interested in the lyrical themes and the combination of ideas that you have displayed on what is, I consider, your major work, which is Sign of Faith. You have topics from the perversion of Islam by terrorists, the mythological beast, the Leviathan, the ancient city of Alexandria, Alga itself, which is from a previous release, is the war call of the Crimean Tatar people, and it's actually dedicated to Crimeans defending their land. There's a combination of history, myth, and religion, and their influences on each other and the way they interact with the modern day. Is that something that you wanted to explore deliberately, or is that just what came out of the songwriting?
I guess mostly it just came out of the songwriting, and we both write lyrics, me and Eugene.
Wrote for the Sign of Faith.
Yeah,
wrote
for the Sign of Faith, but sometimes Eugene comes out with a song already with lyrics, sometimes not. So I don't know, we just get inspired by some stuff, and that's why we sing about it and write about it. But in the end, it came out like a half concept album because there is a theme of faith that is present in almost every song. That's why we just intend to think that it's half a concept album.
Sure. Yeah, I understand that half concept album idea, right? With lyric, for example, a very famous one is A Matter of Life and Death by Iron Maiden, which is not a full concept album, but every song is about war and religion, or war or religion. So yeah, it's a thematic thing running throughout the album, and I think that really holds it together and keeps it cohesive as one piece of work, it's stronger than the sum of its parts, I think, Sign of Faith. You incorporate into your music Oriental metal as well. I think you were the first band in the Ukraine to do that. Is that right?
Probably yes, most probably.
Why did you want to do that?
Because why not? Nobody did that in Ukraine. And if people think about making a metal band in Ukraine, if they're gathering around something that is for like half of times is like death metal or black metal, like
or Viking
really,
metal.
and the other half is Viking or Norwegian, like old Kiev Rus themed folk metal.
Sure.
Yeah, and like I think Ukraine has enough of it.
Yeah.
So we should do something else, something interesting, and the Oriental, the Middle Eastern part came about thanks to its one of its most popular harmonies called Hijaz Makam, which for the Eastern ear, for the Western ear, sounds like both happy like major and grumpy like minor, but at the same time, and it's aggressive, and it's just more interesting than simply using minor or major scales, and that's it.
Sure.
Yeah, we actually have no Middle Eastern background in our band. I mean, none of us are from, I don't know, Arabic or something like that. We just love the music.
Do you love that kind of Arabic music independently of heavy metal?
Oh yes, I listen to Turk pop, for example, a little bit of Islamic like prayer music, a little bit of Jewish prayer music, psalms sung, and all the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's magnificent in its own way.
If people want to get into that kind of music, where's a good entry point? Is there something they can easily find on a streaming service, for example? What should they look for?
Oh yeah, just I use Apple Music. I think with Spotify, it's gonna be the same. Just Turkish music. Here you go.
Cool.
That's it.
Nice,
There's
nice and easy.
Playlists. There's a lot of other things you can dig into.
Mm-hmm. Also, what I'm quite interested in is it says on your website, you know, on your shop section, you don't have a manager or label or fulfillment partner. You're independent, right?
Yeah, the only thing we have is a booking agency with which we are working, but like, and they are giving us also some managing advices, but like we handle everything on our own in terms of merch and distribution and all the stuff.
Like, I don't know if that's a deliberate thing, but that it adds a really nice personal touch to the band. When I buy stuff from more independent bands like yourselves, it makes me want to buy merch more, for example, because I know that, you know, I buy stuff from also, I used to buy things from bands like Reign of Fury, and I know that they had packed the thing themselves, and I thought that is a beautiful, like, little, you know, it's a real connection with the band that I think fans really appreciate. Is it a deliberate choice to not have a label, or are you looking for a label?
Well, we also love the personal approach, and we love to speak to our fans. They've been really supportive in terms of purchases, and sometimes they help us, you know, with contacts in other countries. And we love to speak to them. But at the same time, we just feel that we've reached some points where we need, you know, a push and a label to work with, maybe for the next album. But, you know, we just thought that we would be working only with one of the major labels, because like we can handle everything that a small or medium label does. That's why even if we don't get signed for the next album, we will do it on our own, just like we did before.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you. I had assumed you had a label because I've seen your music videos and I've heard your sound production and your quality of your music. And then when I saw on your website you were independent, I honestly, guys, I was so impressed that because like I've heard a right load of shit have come from major labels, right? And you guys are there, and I'm like, how are they independent? Like, it's just phenomenal. It's like absolutely blew my mind that both the music videos and the quality of the music, not just like the production, but the quality of the songwriting and the musicianship was just amazes me. Like, I haven't heard anything like it. And it blew me away, guys, honestly. I know I'm going a bit fanboy now, and I don't do this at interviews, but like you guys like really like spoke to me. It was incredible. Every time on Spotify, you get like these, your favorite artists of the year. And since and it gives you your most listened to songs. Every single year I get Leviathan and I get Shaitanu Akbar every single year because it's just on repeat all the time, year long.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
I was amazed, absolutely amazed that you didn't have a label. But because you sound and look like you are, you have a big label attached to you. So it's a testament to your artistry and skill. So congratulations, guys, on fooling me.
Thank you so much. But we still hope that we'll get signed at some point.
Tell me about Queen Dies.
Oh, that's probably one of the most interesting songs so far because like it is not based on anything. Like the lyrical theme is pure imagination. So sometimes we get asked whether it was written based on a queen that killed the twins, but it's not. And like in our eyes, the video that we got done for Queen Dies is the best one we've had so far. And actually, we were pretty surprised it didn't get that much traction as our previous video for Alga. But maybe like, some, I don't know how to say, videos that are more original, sometimes they don't get perceived by the audience like you want them to because they're a bit more complicated and not many people really understand what's happening in that video. Like,
yeah, because nobody is playing guitars in a black room with lots of fog and lights.
yeah, that's the point. But still, we even recently published a long story on our Facebook, what's really happening on that video, because many people didn't get that. And what we can say is that Queen Dies will be included in the upcoming album that we're going to release. We're now working on finishing the demos, and then we're going to send them to the labels and see what happens. So.
Cool.
Yeah, fun fact about Queen Dies, it is banned in UK's airports.
Yeah, I was actually traveling to London for a business trip, and it was like after releasing Queen Dies, and while standing in the queue at the airport, I was willing to check how many views it got, and like, entering my channel, my YouTube channel from my phone, I didn't see the video and I was actually shocked. I thought that it was banned all over the UK and I texted it on Facebook, but like all my UK fans, they said like, okay, I have it and I have it and I have it. And when I got out from the airport, actually I saw that it was not banned, but yeah, that's a fun fact.
That is brilliant. That is brilliant. I like that story a lot.
I was very surprised why Shaitan Akbar is not banned and it has such a strong name and Queen Dice is banned. It was really strange.
Yeah. Although maybe it's just for English language. Maybe that's why the filter doesn't pick it up.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe it's because it's got a funny character in there. The first character, the first character is, I don't know what the name of the character is, the S with the hook underneath it. Maybe the filter doesn't understand that, because I tried to play it the other day on the radio and it wouldn't play, and it was a live show and I was like, oh my God, it's broken. So I had to quickly rename the file, like go into the file, rename it and just put a normal S in there, and then it played the file. I was like, oh, thank God.
Okay.
Thank God.
We will know that. Yeah, I guess no songs will have strange symbols in the new album.
Yeah.
But maybe, who knows?
I don't know. Maybe Yeah.
Can you tell us anything about the tracks on the new album? What it will sound like compared to your last album?
Yeah, it is gonna be less symphonic, more synthy. It will have more synths, but not as you would expect from like a modern metal band, for example, Amaranthi or something like that. So there will be no dance hymns with lots of synths.
No
and
love
guitars.
metal.
No love metal. No Elisa Rudd. Sorry. Yeah. I would say that some of the latest songs that are included into the album or will be included into the album sound more like South UK prog rock scene.
Oh.
Our own twist. Yeah. So, like, I don't know, Black Peaks, Arcane Roots, maybe Tosca, something like that.
Because Eugene is a big fan of those bands, and I'm actually too. I love them.
Yeah.
Awesome. So longer songs then?
I'm not sure about that, but
no, I don't think so.
More, radio friendly formats.
Sure.
Radio, but still, there will be, for example, one song with growls only and a couple of songs with clean vocals only. So it will be quite diverse, and it will be a concept album. I mean, a full concept album.
3 times.
3 times. So yeah.
No, literally, it will be the thrice concept album.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool. I love a concept album. I'm a big fan of a concept album. What do you mean it'll be like the 3 times? Can you tell me what that means, or is this a cryptic clue of what's to come?
We can.
We can tell that it will be split like into 3 independent parts, but all the parts will be connected somehow together. So
and inside the parts, the links between the songs will be highly conceptual.
Yeah, so
they will continue the story of each other.
So, I mean, that's why it's taken us a bit more time, because we need to think everything through. It's like writing a book. That's why it needs time.
Okay, cool. I'm even more excited about it now because I really like a good concept album. Also, you mentioned like the synths. Have you heard the last Within Temptation album?
Yeah, I guess a couple of singles.
I think it's Resist, is it? That's got kind of like a synthy vibe to it, but it's not dance music like Amaranth. Is it something similar to that, would you say, or very much its own thing?
Yeah, of course it's an own thing, because there's Oriental, there is Helle's vocal, not her vocals, but I would say that for some of the songs, your anchor to understand that would be Melancholia Hymns by Arcane Roots.
Cool.
But that's like the main thing, and not all songs in the album will be like that, because one of them will be a full-fledged ballad without anything synths at all, and the other one is gonna be true black metal.
Wow. Yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Very far ends of the spectrum then.
Yeah, diversity all the way.
That's very exciting.
That's what we are always trying to have, the diversity. We don't want even us to get bored. So
yeah, because I think there was a trend for a while of a lot of bands, within certain genres, maybe the power metal genre, for example. I love power metal, but I love dragons and stuff. Of course I like power metal. But there would be a feeling that you would have 9 songs that were all the same song.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas you guys, also stuff on Sign of Faith, like How I Hate the Night and stuff is lovely. But it sounds like the next album, we're going to get a real good variation of things. And I think that's something that should be really valued. And I think it's not treating the listener as an idiot. You can go, yeah, all right, high power, super fast heavy metal is lots of fun. But, we can do something more laid back, possibly more cerebral as well.
Yeah, indeed.
That's so exciting. Something you touched on earlier. I realize I've waffled on for a long time. I'm sorry for keeping you. But can you just tell me a little bit about the Ukrainian metal scene?
It's a very, very complicated and painful question, I guess.
Yeah. And the answer is very strange, I guess, as well, because I would say we have two different scenes. One scene is like an internal scene of small bands that achieve literally nothing. They have constant struggle. And the other scene is the bands that tour all over the world or all over the Europe at least, but they are not that popular. They aren't needed in Ukraine because nobody likes them.
Right.
Yeah, the thing is that Ukraine is actually having a very nice musical movement at the moment, but it's not related to metal. So there are lots of indie and electronic and pop music bands, hip hop, and they are doing really great in terms of songwriting and production. And we're really, like me and Eugene, we listen to a lot of different genres, and we're really proud to have them. We visit concerts, we support them. But like in terms of metal, even if our fellow bands from other countries ask whether they should come to Ukraine, we just say that there is no proper metal community here. I mean, there are lots of metal hands, but they don't literally support bands except for, for example, Dimmu Borgir is coming to Ukraine for the first time. And lots of people who have been listening metal in their teenage, they will come there, but they won't support like the up and coming bands.
Sure.
That's the truth. And that's it. They do actually support bands that become more popular worldwide, and then they get back and do like sold out solo shows. But
yeah, so that is the way to become famous. As a metal musician in Ukraine, you grow in Ukraine, you write your music in Ukraine, you go tour somewhere and you get back to Ukraine and now you're kind of famous. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite complicated, but like we've also our friends from Esferilia band with whom we toured in autumn. They're from Italy and they have pretty much the same. There are lots of metal bands and there are less metalheads to listen to them. They have the same problems even though they are, in Italy.
Sure. Why is that then? What is it? Is it something to do with the Ukrainian attitude? Why is that, do you think?
I guess it's a thing of trends and popularity and maybe historical background as well. Why people listen to metal in Norway? Like, I guess everybody listens to metal in Norway or Sweden. They just are used to that. Sure. And there is also, an infrastructure of some metal zines and metal radios. We don't have it. That's it. Don't have media.
Well, do local people come and support you?
We actually don't really play in Ukraine. Like last year, we played one show at a festival that is actually not a metal festival. It's a large festival with a, rock and metal stage.
Sure.
And there were many people coming to watch us, but actually, like the local promoters never think that people will come and support us because they don't see us here. They see that we have the fan base in Europe and in the US, and they are right about it, but people will still come and watch us. So this year we're also going to play just one show in Ukraine, probably.
And will you be coming touring further abroad then? Where can we come and see you?
Actually, we have already one show in Portugal announced at the Vagos Metal Festival, and we also have a couple of festival appearances that will be confirmed like in the upcoming days. But what we can say now for sure is that next year we will come to the UK.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, but we cannot tell where and when for now. So
okay.
Will come soon, but for us, we still don't know how we're going to get our visas, but we have we have time to figure it out.
Well, wherever you come in the UK, I'm going to make sure I am there and I will come and see you.
Yeah, it will be great to see you.
I feel like I've taken up enough of your day already, and I'm sure you have lots of things to get on with. What with the new album, demos nearly completed, etc. So I want to thank you both, Eugene and Helle, for a lovely conversation, and I appreciate you coming on the show and talking to me. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
You just heard Queen Dies from IGNEA. Obviously IGNEA. I'm back in radio show mode again. If you hear any songs on a podcast where I interview a band, it will be from that band. Don't worry about it. It'll be in the show notes and everything. Stella, Absolutely love those two. Really warm, friendly people. It was a delight to speak to them. You'll notice as well that Evgeny is referred to as Eugene through that. It's because I'm British, and therefore I am rightly to be considered a Philistine when it comes to foreign names. I do feel a bit embarrassed that we referred to him as Eugene throughout that. But hey, it must smooth it for all the many English-speaking metal reporters that they speak to. Metal reporter? Am I a metal reporter now? I'm a radio host. If I do a podcast, am I a reporter or am I just a I don't know anymore. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that interview. They are absolutely fantastic people producing fantastic music. If you want to check them out, you can go to ignea.band to read about their biography, to check out their Patreon that they're running. They've got a lyrics section. They've got the videos on there as well, and their music videos are absolutely phenomenal. That's why I thought they were signed to a label, because like the videos are better than I see from a lot of bands from a lot of, bigger name labels. Really awesome. Also worth checking out, Helle has got a YouTube channel where she talks about what it's like being in an independent band. I'm going to link that in the comments. She also chats to other musicians and figures within the industry. And Evgeny's also got a YouTube channel that I saw him post about today. It's actually really nice to see what other interests people have beyond just, what they're known for. And he loves a bit of aircraft spotting, filming the experience of local air travel and small planes and things like that. So check that out. It's actually quite interesting. I surprised myself. I was watching it like going, this is quite enjoyable. This is like nice chilled way. This is a chilled thing to have on as well. Like in the background even if you don't watch it directly, proper chill. So I'll be popping a link in the show notes there as well. If you want to support Metal Empire, I'm currently needing a new microphone. Not this one. This is a nice Rode NT microphone. This is what I use for my audiobooks, which is why the intro and the outro sound significantly better than what I do on the radio, because I have to use my Zoom H2N, because otherwise, if I use my posh microphone, for some reason, the broadcaster we have only puts it out of the left channel, so you just get me in your left ear. So I have to use my Zoom H2N. It's also what I take on the road when interviewing people in real life, before concerts and things, when there's not a horrendous pandemic on that is cancelled all metal concerts. However, the Zoom H2N, handy recorder, loyal to the end, has breathed its last. It's failed twice on interviews previously, which is twice too much, frankly. And also, the thread has gone inside it. So when I was doing my radio show today, I super glued it to the stand because the previous week I'd blue tacked it to the stand. So I need a new microphone, a handy travel mic and recorder that I can use for broadcasting the radio show. So I do have, it's only like £98. I do have a Ko-fi. If you want to, if you like what you hear, if you listen to the radio show, or if you like this podcast, you can go to ko.fi, ko-fi.com, Metal Empire, kofi.com/Metal Empire. And you can buy me a coffee there. I imagine I'll start a Patreon soon where I will offer you 0 rewards, apart from if you pay me a silly amount of money. And I'll paint you a 28mm figurine to the best of my ability. That's literally all I've got to. That is where my talent lies. painting toy soldiers, and you can have one for a stupid amount of money. If you want to suggest who I should interview next, you can hit me up on Twitter at RJ Bailey, or go to my Facebook page at Metal Empire Radio. If you do like an @ on Facebook at Metal Empire Radio, you'll find the correct Metal Empire page, because there's quite a few out there, but there's only one correct one. It's this one. If you want to listen to the show live on Metal Nation Radio, you can do, with all the music and the extraneous waffle that surround these interviews. It's broadcast on Metal Nation Radio on Wednesdays at 1 in the afternoon, GMT, 8 in the morning, Eastern Time, and 2 in the afternoon, Central European Time. And it gets repeated on Saturdays at 11 at night, GMT, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, and midnight, Central European Time. Just to give you a taster of the bands and the artists that you can expect to hear interviewed on this show, we've got these. Not all of these might not have music with them. I've cleared some music already. I'm still waiting to hear back from some other people, but you'll have the interviews anyway. Or we'll put a cheeky maybe 30 seconds in there. I think illustrative. I think we can get away with that on fair use. Actually, we might be able to get away with it on fair use anyway. I'll look into that, shall I? If anyone knows if I can get away with using just music without asking permission from the record labels, from the bands of which I'm interviewing, that's going to save me some time and effort. Let me know at RJ Bailey. But expect to hear interviews coming up with Spencer Charnas from Ice 9 Kills, Yanis Papadopoulos from Beast in Black, Schriegel Glanzman from Elviti, Nick and Kat from Derange, Eric Peterson from Testament, Fox Skinner from Graham Magus, Phil Pendergast from Chemis, Monique Pym from Relica, one of my absolute favourites at the moment, Stefan Wienerhalle from Falconer, and Elise Ridd and Olaf Mork from Amaranth. Elise actually tried to teach me, did her best. She can only work with what she's got. Did her best to teach me death metal vocals on that interview, so keep an ear out for that one. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you along for this ride. I look forward to growing this little heavy metal empire with you. Share it with your friends who might be interested. Leave a cheeky review wherever you see this. I'm going to leave you with another absolutely stellar track from the Sign of Faith, Leviathan. Right, that's it. I'll see you on the flippy dippy.